expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Hebrew ebook before it's gone. When learning a new language, everyone should have an ultimate goal to work towards. Whether you want to be able to connect with a relative, easily order food while traveling, or go somewhere new, having an end goal for your learning can be very motivating. A popular but challenging goal is being able to speak like a native speaker. It's difficult to measure exactly when you reach this goal, and it's not something you can pick up using textbooks alone. So how do you work on making your speech more natural? That's what we're going to look at today. Here are 3 tips to help you practice talking like a native speaker. Number 1, focus on vocabulary. If your goal is to speak like a native, you might be really focused on speaking quickly or using as many complex grammar patterns as possible. But in our native languages, we're not always trying to speak as fast as possible, and we use complex grammar patterns when necessary, not to show off. Vocabulary, however, is extremely important to expressing ourselves naturally. Your choice of words can reveal a lot about you and your understanding of the language. Most learners have had the experience of using a phrasebook or a dictionary to find a word they want to use, trying the word in conversation, and getting a look of confusion from the native speaker. In some cases, although your word choice may be grammatically correct, the word may be inappropriate for the situation or totally unnatural. This is especially important in business and other formal situations, where the right level of formality and professionalism is key. Being able to understand nuances in vocabulary words can also help you understand relationships between people just by listening to the conversation. Try to listen to many different types of conversations. Listen to how people talk to their friends, their superiors, and in customer service situations. This will give you a better idea of how to talk to others naturally. In some languages, you can omit words from sentences or use more direct communication styles. It's important to be aware of these things so you can apply them yourself. Colloquialisms and slang are also commonly used in most languages. As this sort of vocabulary is always evolving, it can be difficult to keep up with the latest words. Talk with native speakers and consume media in your target language to make sure you pick up these kinds of expressions. Media is a great resource for your learning. Ultimately, knowing the appropriate vocabulary to use for each situation will really help you sound more knowledgeable. Number 2, perfect your accent. With every language, there are unique pronunciation and intonation challenges. Some languages are tonal languages, and a change in pitch can completely change the meaning of a word. Then there's the fact that most countries have multiple dialects, and so people from one area of the country may sound different from those in another. So what is the best way to listen to a wide range of accents and different pronunciations? Video and audio resources are a great way to do this. YouTube is a perfect place to start because people from all kinds of different backgrounds upload videos to the platform. You can watch educational videos, daily life vlogs, cooking shows, a travel series, whatever interests you. Pay attention to the different ways people speak. Everyone is unique. And then practice speaking like them. This kind of practice can help you sound more natural. One note, please be aware of the type of resources you're using. For example, if you find a video where a speaker uses a rare dialect, it might not be a good idea to use that for your pronunciation practice, unless you have a special reason for studying a specific accent. As a general rule, it's best to try to search for practice resources that use a standard form of the language you're studying. Number 3, copy what you hear. Do you remember how you learned to speak as a child? We rarely learned new words just listening to them, or reading after we learned how. When we were little kids, we imitated the sounds we heard by repeating the sounds out loud. While you're talking to a friend, watching videos, or listening to audio in your target language, you can do this to try and replicate the way they speak. Doing this will help you work on mastering the flow of the language, your accent, intonation, and pronunciation. Of course, you might also pick up some new vocabulary this way. Make sure to repeat new words often. It's a great way to make sure you remember them. Try doing this using a number of different mediums and sources. That way, you'll be exposed to the diversity that the language offers and master the fundamentals of pronunciation. For example, You can watch and imitate several different YouTube videos and audio CDs, but try a few different sources, like different creators or different audio types, to make sure you experience a wide range of communication in your target language. If you're using our language learning program, you can even get your own teacher with Premium Plus. Your teacher can answer questions, give assignments, and even listen to your recordings and give you advice on pronunciation. Completing these kinds of lessons with a native teacher can really boost your confidence in your speaking skills. Becoming able to speak like a native is a popular goal for many people learning a new language. It feels great to be able to communicate smoothly, especially when the people you're talking to expect basic level sentences or broken communication. Try using the tips we've shared in this video to work on improving your speaking skills. Of course, it'll take time and persistence, but the reward will be more natural communication. And for even more tips on speaking, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, what's your favorite number? After watching this video, you'll be able to say many numbers and ask someone their favorite number. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Talking About Numbers PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
מהו המספר האהוב עליכם ביותר? המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 7.
Once more with the English translation.
מהו המספר האהוב עליכם ביותר?
What's your favorite number?
המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 7.
It's 7. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, what's your favorite number? That's
מהו המספר האהוב עליכם ביותר?
Listen to it again.
מהו המספר האהוב עליכם ביותר? מהו המספר האהוב עליכם ביותר?
Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא
number. This Hebrew sentence literally translates into, my favorite number is number. But it means, its number. For example, it's 7.
המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 7. המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 7.
Here are a few more numbers you can use with the same pattern. 7,
7. 7.
2,
2. 2.
4,
4. 4.
9,
9. 9.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
מהו המספר האהוב עליכם ביותר? המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 2. מהו המספר האהוב עליכם ביותר? המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 4. מהו המספר האהוב עליכם ביותר? המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 9.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, "What's your favorite number?"
מהו המספר האהוב עליכם ביותר?
Imagine it's 2. Do you remember how to say 2?
2. 2.
Say, "It's 2."
המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 2.
Now answer the question saying, "It's 2."
מהו המספר האהוב עליכם ביותר? המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 2.
Now imagine it's 4. Do you remember how to say 4?
4. 4.
Say, "It's 4."
המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 4.
Now answer the question by saying, "It's 4."
מהו המספר האהוב עליכם ביותר? המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 4.
Now imagine it's 9. Do you remember how to say 9?
9. 9.
Say, "It's 9."
המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 9.
Now answer the question saying, "It's 9."
מהו המספר האהוב עליכם ביותר? המספר האהוב עליי ביותר הוא 9.
In this lesson, you learned number-related phrases you can use in your everyday life to talk about numbers. You are now able to count like a native speaker. Start by practicing in the comments below. Tell us your favorite number. Lastly, don't forget to click the link in the description and download your PDF cheat sheets. You'll get useful phrases you need for everyday life for free. See you in the next lesson. Bye! Hey everyone, Alicia here. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, "How's your mother?" After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about well-being and ask how someone is doing. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Conversation About Family Well-Being PDF cheat sheet for free. Now let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
מה שלום אמא שלך?
שלומה טוב.
Once more with the English translation.
מה שלום אמא שלך?
How's your mother?
שלומה טוב.
She's fine. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, "How's your mother?" That's,
מה שלום אמא שלך?
listen to it again.
מה שלום אמא שלך? מה שלום אמא שלך?
This Hebrew sentence literally means, "What is the well-being of your mother?" But it translates as, "How's your mother?" in English. Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
שלומה.
state of well-being. This Hebrew sentence literally means, "Her well-being is state of well-being." But it translates as, she is state of well-being in English. For example, she's fine.
שלומה טוב. שלומה טוב.
Here are a few expressions related to well-being that you can use with this pattern. Great,
מצוין, מצוין,
fine,
טוב, טוב,
so-so,
ככה ככה, ככה ככה,
not good,
לא טוב, לא טוב.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
מה שלום אמא שלך? שלומה מצוין. מה שלום אמא שלך? שלומה ככה ככה. מה שלום אמא שלך? שלומה לא טוב.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, "How's your mother?"
מה שלום אמא שלך?
Imagine she's great. Do you remember how to say, "Great"?
מצוין. מצוין.
Say, "She's great."
שלומה מצוין.
Now, answer the question saying she's great.
מה שלום אמא שלך? שלומה מצוין.
Now imagine she's so-so. Do you remember how to say so-so?
ככה ככה. ככה ככה.
Say, "She's so-so."
שלומה ככה ככה.
Now, answer the question saying she's so-so.
מה שלום אמא שלך? שלומה ככה ככה.
Now imagine she's not good. Do you remember how to say not good?
לא טוב. לא טוב.
Say, "She's not good."
שלומה לא טוב.
Now, answer the question saying she's not good.
מה שלום אמא שלך? שלומה לא טוב.
In this lesson, you learn new vocabulary and phrases you can use in your everyday life to talk about well-being. You're now able to talk about how someone is feeling like a native speaker. Start by practicing in the comments below. Tell me how you are today. Lastly, don't forget to click the link in the description and download your PDF cheat sheets. You'll get useful phrases you need for everyday life for free. See you in the next lesson. Bye!
שלום,
שלום,
מה שלומך?
בסדר, תודה. שלום, קוראים לי טל.
שלום, אני יעל.
נעים מאוד.
נעים מאוד גם לי. ברוך הבא. כנס בבקשה.
תודה. הנה מתנה קטנה ממני. בבקשה.
תודה רבה.
בבקשה.
אאו, סליחה,
מה?
כף הרגל שלי.
או, סליחה.
ערב טוב.
שלום. אפשר לקבל תפריט?
ודאי.
סליחה. אפשר כוס מים בבקשה?
מיד.
סליחה. אפשר להזמין?
כן.
Hi everyone, good to see you again. I'm Yara, and today we're going to be doing 10 lines you need for introducing yourself in Hebrew. So let's start. Shmi Yara. My name is Yara. Okay, this one is the most basic. Shmi Yara. My name is Yara. Shmi means my name, and it's the same for men and women. You should know, though, this is a bit formal. The casual way of introducing yourself is saying קוראים לי יערה, which literally means something like I'm called יערה. שלום, נעים להכיר אותך. Hello, it's nice to meet you. שלום, נעים להכיר אותך. Hello, it's nice to meet you. You say this when you're talking to a male. Otherwise, it's שלום, נעים להכיר אותך. אני מישראל. I'm from Israel. אני מישראל. I'm from Israel. You can obviously change that. I'm from Italy would be אני מאיטליה. I'm from America will be אני מאמריקה. אני גרה בירושלים. I live in Jerusalem. אני גרה בירושלים. I live in Jerusalem. I said the female form. The male form would be אני גר בירושלים. This verb, אני גרה, גר, it doesn't mean to live like to exist, but to live in a place. So, אני גרה בירושלים. אני לומדת עברית כבר שנה. I've been learning Hebrew for a year. אני לומדת עברית כבר שנה. I've been learning Hebrew for a year. For a male it would be אני לומד עברית כבר שנה. אני בת 27. I'm 27 years old. אני בת 27. I'm 27 years old. For a male, אני בן 27. אני מורה. I'm a teacher. אני מורה. I'm a teacher. Or for a male, אני מורה. You obviously don't have to say that if you're not a teacher. אחד התחביבים שלי הוא קריאה. One of my hobbies is reading. אחד התחביבים שלי הוא קריאה. One of my hobbies is reading. This sentence stays the same for male and for female speaker. אני נהנית להאזין למוזיקה. I enjoy listening to music. אני נהנית להאזין למוזיקה. I enjoy listening to music. For male speaker, אני נהנה להאזין למוזיקה. גדלתי בתל אביב. I grew up in Tel Aviv. גדלתי בתל אביב. I grew up in Tel Aviv. This sentence stays the same for a male and for a female speaker. Obviously, if you grew up somewhere else, you can also say גדלתי בניו יורק. I grew up in New York. Or גדלתי בפריז. I grew up in Paris. Okay, so these were 10 lines you need for introducing yourself in Hebrew. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye! One of my hobbies is reading.
Hi everyone, Edith here. Today we're going to talk about 10 responses to how are you? In Hebrew, of course. מה שלומך? How are you? מה שלומך? How are you? So yeah, like this is the most common way to ask people in Hebrew how they are. You can also say like, hey, what's up? Or, you know, how's it going? But the most simple way is מה שלומך? ואתה? And you? So after you've been asked how are you and you've given your response, you would ask the other person, and you? ואתה? אני בסדר. I'm fine. אני בסדר. I'm fine. Yeah, just בסדר is literally just fine. It can be, you know, fine. It can be fine. שלומי לא רע. I'm not bad. שלומי לא רע. I'm not bad. So I think people usually would say that after maybe they had a bit of a rough time, I don't know, like maybe at work or something personal, and then when people ask them how they're doing, so they would say, oh, I'm not bad, like, it's getting better. Gam shlomi tov. I'm fine too. Gam shlomi tov. I'm fine too. When you say gam in the beginning of the sentence, it's the same as saying in English too, but in the end of the sentence. So in Hebrew you would say it first. Gam shlomi tov. Ani yashnuni. I'm sleepy. Ani yashnuni. I'm sleepy. I think nowadays it's like a very common thing to say, like, how are you doing? Oh, I'm sleepy. When do you guys actually like wake up? I only wake up after I have a cup of coffee and then maybe another hour. אני מרגיש רע. I'm feeling bad. אני מרגיש רע. I'm feeling bad. So if you're ill, usually yes, ill or having a headache, you would say that you feel bad. It's not so much as like an emotional thing, I'm hurting, I'm sad. It's like, I feel bad, I'm ill. שלומי מצוין. I'm great. שלומי מצוין. I'm great. When you're really doing well, like you really have it, it's like, I'm great. מצוין. איך הולך איתך? How have you been? איך הולך איתך? How have you been? So since in Hebrew we don't have as much tenses as English, and we don't have like all of the progressive tenses, it's just past, present, and future. When we try to ask like, oh, how have you been during the last few days? How have you been during the last few weeks? So we would say, איך הולך איתך? How are things going for you? Pretty much that's the literal translation. מה נשמע? What's up? מה נשמע? What's up? So this is like the number one most common expression in Israel when you ask people how they're doing, and it's very friendly and casual. Like when you say מה נשמע, it's just like saying what's up. And the literal translation, it's like saying, what is heard? Like, what do you have to tell me that is new? Please do. Please tell me. So that's it. That's מה נשמע. So thanks everyone. Thank you for watching that video. Today we discussed about how to respond to how are you. Please let me know in the comments below, like, what are the most surprising responses you ever gotten. It's like, oh, how are you? Yeah, my dog died. Stuff like that. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like up this video. And also don't forget to get into HebrewPod101.com for more content and more Hebrew. And I will see you all next time. להתראות.
Hey everyone, Alicia here. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, what's the matter? After watching this video, you'll be able to make complaints and ask someone else if they're having any issues. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Making Complaints PDF cheat sheet for free. Now let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
הכל בסדר?
המשרד חם.
Once more with the English translation.
הכל בסדר?
What's the matter?
המשרד חם.
The office is hot. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, what's the matter? That's,
הכל בסדר?
listen to it again.
הכל בסדר? הכל בסדר?
This Hebrew sentence literally translates into, is everything okay? But it means, what's the matter in English? Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
המשרד.
adjective. The office is adjective. For example, the office is hot.
המשרד חם. המשרד חם.
Here are a few more examples you can use with the same pattern to make complaints. Hot,
חם, חם,
cold,
קר, קר,
noisy,
רועש, רועש,
dirty,
מלוכלך, מלוכלך,
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
הכל בסדר? המשרד קר. הכל בסדר? המשרד רועש. הכל בסדר? המשרד מלוכלך.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, "What's the matter?"
הכל בסדר?
Imagine the office is cold. Do you remember how to say cold?
קר. קר.
Say, the office is cold.
המשרד קר.
Now answer the question saying the office is cold.
הכל בסדר? המשרד קר.
Now imagine the office is noisy. Do you remember how to say noisy?
רועש. רועש.
Say, the office is noisy.
המשרד רועש.
Now, answer the question saying the office is noisy.
הכל בסדר? המשרד רועש.
Now imagine the office is dirty. Do you remember how to say dirty?
מלוכלך. מלוכלך.
Say, the office is dirty.
המשרד מלוכלך.
Now answer the question, saying the office is dirty.
הכל בסדר? המשרד מלוכלך.
In this lesson, you learned new vocabulary and phrases you can use in your everyday life to make complaints. You are now able to share your concerns like a native speaker. Start by practicing in the comments below. Make any complaints you may have today. Lastly, don't forget to click the link in the description and download your PDF cheat sheets. You'll get useful phrases you need for everyday life for free. See you in the next lesson. Bye! When learning a new language, we sometimes have a hard time with things like procrastination, discouragement, or failure. But don't panic. With a good strategy, you'll be able to overcome these difficulties. Are you ready to discover the 4 habits of successful learners? Number 1, optimize your time. When learning a language, it's important to dedicate time to your studies regularly, even if sometimes it's difficult. You're busy with school, work, family, or friends. But you can spread out your learning throughout the day. Study whenever you have small gaps of time in your busy schedule. This can be when you're on the metro, on your lunch break, or while you're exercising. Our podcast learning format fits perfectly into your tight schedule. Number 2, consistency with your chosen method. There are a lot of options when it comes to courses and learning materials. Switching from one method to another can confuse you and disrupt your progress. Focusing on one learning method will make a difference. Our method has been created and optimized by real teachers, so you can stick to it with confidence. Number 3, use your language background. Many languages share some commonalities. You can find words that look or sound similar, or even share the same grammar structure. A little bit of language background will give you an edge while learning. Number 4, study continuously. People are excited when they start learning a new language. The enthusiasm usually lasts until the first roadblock. This can lead to discouragement and procrastination. But don't burn yourself out. Learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. Don't try to learn it all at once. Break things down into more digestible chunks. Learning step by step might feel slow, but it's an efficient way to learn a language. With patience, motivation, and good resources, you'll master the language. Remember, you can't learn a language overnight, but with motivation and these daily lessons, you'll be on the road to fluency.
איש מתקשר למרפאה. עד איזו שעה הוא צריך להגיע למרפאה? שלום, איך אפשר לעזור לך?
באיזה שעה אתם סוגרים היום?
אנחנו סוגרים בשעה 6, אבל בבקשה תגיע לפני 5:30.
בסדר. תודה.
עד איזו שעה הוא צריך להגיע למרפאה? איש מתקשר למרפאה. עד איזו שעה הוא צריך להגיע למרפאה? שלום, איך אפשר לעזור לך?
באיזה שעה אתם סוגרים היום?
אנחנו סוגרים בשעה 6, אבל בבקשה תגיע לפני 5:30.
בסדר. תודה.
ילד קורא מהיומן שלו. מהו הדבר הראשון שהילד עשה היום?
המזג אוויר היה נהדר היום. הלכתי לשחות בבריכה אחר הצהריים, והלכתי לראות סרט בערב. גם למדתי כל הבוקר. היה יום לא רע.
מהו הדבר הראשון שהילד עשה היום? ילד קורא מהיומן שלו. מהו הדבר הראשון שהילד עשה היום?
המזג אוויר היה נהדר היום. הלכתי לשחות בבריכה אחר הצהריים, והלכתי לראות סרט בערב. גם למדתי כל הבוקר. היה יום לא רע.
אישה ואיש מביטים בתצלום. באיזה תצלום הם מביטים? זה תצלום של קבוצת הכדורגל שהבן שלך בא לו? מיהו הבן שלך?
זה?
הוא הכי גבוה.
כן. הוא אפילו יותר גבוה ממני.
באיזה תצלום הם מביטים? אישה ואיש מביטים בתצלום. באיזה תצלום הם מביטים? זה תצלום של קבוצת הכדורגל שהבן שלך בא לו? מיהו הבן שלך?
זה?
הוא הכי גבוה.
כן. הוא אפילו יותר גבוה ממני.
10 ways to remember Hebrew words. אני לומדת על השורשים של מילים, ואיך מילים שונות קשורות אחת לשנייה. I learn about the roots of the words and how different words are related to each other. אני לומדת על השורשים של מילים, ואיך מילים שונות קשורות אחת לשנייה. I learn about the roots of the words and how different words are related to each other. In Hebrew, we have something called a root system. Words from similar fields of concept or from similar source would have a lot of basics, the same basic consonants. So for instance, the word airplane is matos, and the word flight is tisa, and the word for the verb flying is latus. So you can hear there are slight changes in the words, and sometimes it's a verb and sometimes it's a noun, but those two letters of t and s are still there, and that kind of makes it easier to remember. אני מדברת כמה שאני יכולה עם דוברי שפת אם של השפה. I speak as often as possible with native speakers. אני מדברת כמה שאני יכולה עם דוברי שפת אם של השפה. I speak as often as possible with native speakers of the language. This is very important because native speakers can, fix your little mistakes and your little bugs and maybe teach you some new words or some modern words or some slang that you might not learn otherwise, especially some rough slang. And that makes your Hebrew speaking much more natural than just studying it from a book or from a teacher. אני מנסה להשתמש במילה חדשה במשפט פשוט, כך שאני לומדת משפטים שלמים, ולא רק מילים בודדות. I try to use the new word in a simple sentence, so I learn whole phrases, not just individual words. אני מנסה להשתמש במילה חדשה במשפט פשוט, כך שאני לומדת משפט שלם ולא רק מילה בודדת. I try to use the new word in a simple sentence, so I study a whole phrase and not just an individual word. When you just learn a word, you might not be able to actually use it when you want to, when you find the need to use that word, even though you know it somewhere in the back of your head. But when you create like a situation in your mind in which you will use this word, or a phrase that's very, very useful for that specific word, then you kind of have it more handy in your memory to pull it out whenever you actually need to. אני מנסה לחשוב בעברית, כך שזה יעשה טבעי לתהליך החשיבה שלי. I try to think in Hebrew so it becomes natural to my thought process. אני מנסה לחשוב בעברית, כך שזה יעשה טבעי לתהליך החשיבה שלי. I try to think in Hebrew so it becomes a natural part of my thinking process. I remember years ago when I just studied English and I was just a little girl, all of a sudden I found myself like thinking in English and dreaming in English, and that's a really important thing to do also, because when you think it, you can speak it. If you don't think before you speak, then nothing is gonna come out. It's gonna come out very like, If you think about stuff, not just before you're speaking, but just in general, making conversations in your head, that would really help you use it in a very, very fluent way. אני מקשיבה לשירים ומשננת את המילים. I listen to songs and memorize the lyrics. אני מקשיבה לשירים ומשננת את המילים. I listen to songs and memorize the lyrics. This is like one of my favorite ways to actually learn new language and learn new vocabulary and new sentences. It's just a fun way, and there's something about a song that you won't forget so easily, like just speaking. It's a song, it's stuck in your head and you want to sing it. It comes like from somewhere in your soul. And when you memorize the word, which is something that I love doing, I love knowing the lyrics of songs, then it just makes you feel like so much more comfortable. And I did that with French, and I actually did that with German too. And I studied quite a bit of German just from German music. So that's kind of fun. אני מקשרת מילים חדשות עם מילים שנשמעות דומה בשפת האם שלי. I associate new words with words that sound similar in my native language. אני מקשרת מילים חדשות עם מילים שנשמעות דומה בשפת האם שלי. I associate new words with similar sounding words in my own native language. So this is also a good way to remember individual words, and to be honest, it kind of sometimes create really funny situations or very funny associations. It's really, really good, because if something makes you laugh, you're not going to forget it. If something makes you smile, you're going to remember it better than just something that you repeated over and over. אני משתמשת בחזרות. קוראת, כותבת, וחוזרת על מילים שוב ושוב. I use repetition, reading, writing, and speaking words over and over again. אני משתמשת בחזרות. קוראת, כותבת, וחוזרת על מילים שוב ושוב. I use repetition, reading, writing, and speaking words over and over again. So sometimes, you can't escape it. That's something that you just kind of have to do, You have to keep repeating stuff to memorize them, to remember them, especially when it comes to grammar. Sometimes there's no other way, and repeating is the best way to do it, I guess. אני צופה בתוכניות טלוויזיה וסרטים מישראל בשביל להיחשף לאוצר מילים יומיומי ולקצב דיבור טבעי. I watch Israeli TV shows and movies with English subtitles to expose myself to everyday vocabulary and a natural speaking flow. אני צופה בתוכניות טלוויזיה וסרטים מישראל בשביל להיחשף לאוצר מילים יומיומי ולקצב דיבור טבעי. I watch Israeli TV shows and movies to expose myself to daily vocabulary and a natural speaking flow. This is how I studied English. Like, what I studied in school hardly even helped me. I used to watch English TV all the time with Hebrew subtitles, and now I'm doing the same with a different language as well. So it's really important just watching TV, because when people are going to speak with you and they see, oh, this is not your native language and maybe you're struggling, they might like dumb down the way they speak to you and speak slower in very simple words. But when you're watching TV, you're seeing how people actually speak. And then you also have the opportunity to see the translation below, and you can compare what they're saying with what you're reading and what you know already. And quite quickly you would expand your vocabulary and significantly improve the naturality of your speaking. אני מנסה לקרוא ספרים פשוטים בעברית ולתרגל קריאה ללא ניקוד בשביל לשפר את יכולות הקריאה שלי. I try to read simple books in Hebrew and practice reading without nikud to improve my reading ability. אני מנסה לקרוא ספרים פשוטים בעברית ולתרגל קריאה ללא ניקוד בשביל לשפר את יכולות הקריאה שלי. I try to read simple books in Hebrew and also practice reading without nikud to improve my reading ability. So, reading without nikud is something that you really have to practice, and to be honest, most places you will go, there won't be any nikud at all. People use nikud today for kids' books and poetry books, even if it's like simple poetry, high poetry, they always use nikud no matter what. But in regular books and street signs and menus, you will never see it. As much as you can, try reading without it, and starting with nikud, slowly progressing to books without it. That's something that's really important, because otherwise you'll always find yourself struggling reading stuff around you. אני לומדת עברית עם HebrewPod101.com בשביל ללמוד משפטים מודרניים בעברית עם מילים שימושיות ליום-יום. I learn Hebrew with HebrewPod101.com to learn modern phrases and actual usable words. אני לומדת עברית עם HebrewPod101.com בשביל ללמוד משפטים מודרניים בעברית עם מילים שימושיות ליום-יום. I learn Hebrew with HebrewPod101.com to learn modern phrases and actual usable words. So yeah, HebrewPod gives you the opportunity to listen to how Israeli people actually speak and what they actually say, whereas if you study in a classroom or from a textbook, most often some of the words and phrases there would be kind of archaic and not something that people really use. So when you talk to people, they would know, oh yeah, like he studied in an ulpan, he studied from a textbook. And if you sound more naturally and you speak in more modern phrases, they would think, oh yeah, like this guy has been living here, he's talking to Israeli people, he knows some stuff. Happy words, yay!
Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. Today, we'll learn conversational phrases about occupations. After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about your job and ask what somebody does for a living. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your occupation PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
במה אתה עובד?
אני אמן.
Listen to it again, now with the English translation.
במה אתה עובד?
What do you do?
אני אמן.
I'm an artist. First of all, you need to learn how to say, what do you do? That's.
במה אתה עובד?
Listen to it again.
במה אתה עובד?
This Hebrew sentence literally translates into, in what do you work? But it means, what do you do in English? Now, how do you answer this question? This is the pattern you'll need.
אני,
Your occupation. I'm an, your occupation. For example, I'm an artist.
אני אמן. אני אמן.
Here are a few more professions you can use with the same pattern. Police officer,
שוטר. שוטר.
שוטרת. שוטרת.
teacher,
מורה. מורה.
מורה. מורה.
doctor,
רופא. רופא.
רופאה. רופאה.
engineer,
מהנדס. מהנדס.
מהנדסת. מהנדסת.
Now, listen to some examples.
במה אתה עובד?
אני מורה.
במה אתה עובד?
אני רופא.
במה אתה עובד?
אני מהנדס.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, what do you do?
במה אתה עובד?
Imagine you're a doctor. Do you remember how to say, doctor?
רופא. רופא.
Say, I'm a doctor.
אני רופא.
Now answer the question saying that you are a doctor.
במה אתה עובד?
אני רופא.
Now, imagine you're a teacher. Do you remember how to say teacher?
מורה. מורה.
Say, I'm a teacher.
אני מורה.
Now, answer the question saying that you are a teacher.
במה אתה עובד?
אני מורה.
Now, imagine you're an engineer. Do you remember how to say engineer?
מהנדס. מהנדס.
Say, I'm an engineer.
אני מהנדס.
Now, answer the question saying that you are an engineer.
במה אתה עובד?
אני מהנדס.
Well done! In this lesson, you learn new occupation-related vocabulary and phrases you can use in your everyday life. You are now able to talk about your job like a native speaker. Start by practicing in the comments below. Tell me about your job. Lastly, don't forget to click the link in the description and download your PDF cheat sheets. You'll get useful phrases you need for everyday life for free. See you in the next lesson. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, you'll learn conversational phrases to ask and answer the question, how do you say this? After watching this video, you'll be able to ask someone how a word is pronounced. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your How to Say Something PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
איך אומרים את זה?
זה נקרא חניון.
Once more with the English translation.
איך אומרים את זה?
How do you say this?
זה נקרא חניון.
It's parking lot. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, how do you say this? That's,
איך אומרים את זה?
listen to it again.
איך אומרים את זה? איך אומרים את זה?
Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
זה נקרא.
word. This Hebrew sentence literally translates into, it is called word. But it means it's word in English. For example, it's parking lot.
זה נקרא חניון. זה נקרא חניון.
Here are a few useful words you can use with the same pattern. Parking lot,
חניון. חניון.
morning,
בוקר. בוקר.
travel,
נסיעה. נסיעה.
invasion,
פלישה. פלישה.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
איך אומרים את זה?
זה נקרא בוקר.
איך אומרים את זה?
זה נקרא נסיעה.
איך אומרים את זה?
זה נקרא פלישה.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, how do you say this?
איך אומרים את זה?
Now, imagine it's the word morning. Do you remember how to say morning?
בוקר. בוקר.
Say, it's morning.
זה נקרא בוקר.
Now, answer the question saying it's morning.
איך אומרים את זה?
זה נקרא בוקר.
Now imagine the word is travel. Do you remember how to say travel?
נסיעה. נסיעה.
Say, it's travel.
זה נקרא נסיעה.
Now, answer the question saying it's travel.
איך אומרים את זה?
זה נקרא נסיעה.
Now imagine the word is invasion. Do you remember how to say invasion?
פלישה. פלישה.
Say, it's invasion.
זה נקרא פלישה.
Now answer the question saying, it's invasion.
איך אומרים את זה?
זה נקרא פלישה.
In this lesson, you learned new vocabulary and phrases you can use in your everyday life to ask someone how something is said. You are now able to ask how to say something like a native speaker. Start by practicing in the comments below. Tell us, which word do you think is the hardest to pronounce? Lastly, don't forget to click the link in the description and download your PDF cheat sheets. You'll get useful phrases you need for everyday life for free. See you in the next lesson. Bye! Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Hebrew ebook before it's gone.